guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do a story time and talk about the time that I almost died. I know a lot of people that have had near-death experiences. It's probably the last thing you want to bring up, but in my situation it's kind of a little bit different and it's kind of hard not to remember it, but I'll kind of back up and kind of tell you like around what time this happened. So I was about 15-16 years old. I was during that stage where, you know, you're always hanging out with your friends, you go to amusement parks, have a blast, whatever. So me and my friends decided to go to Six Flags Illich Gardens, and that's what it was called back then. Now it's called like Illich's or something really lame. But back then it was Six Flags Illich Gardens. It's basically an amusement park. They have a water area, they have all the rides, they have the entertainment, concerts, whatever. So me and my friends decided to go to a concert, but we wanted to do the water area first. So, you know, we went in our bikinis and whatnot, we're having a blast. We get on this slide, we, you know, I think the sun was about to go down, so we were like, oh, let's go do one more thing. So we got to this area called the wave, and it's basically a giant pool and waves are created, so you just kind of have to jump every time the wave comes at you. And as the waves keep coming, they keep coming faster and harder and higher, and so like you have to stay on it. So when I seen it, like it seemed like fun, like very chill kind of water area or whatever. So I decided to go in there, but I don't know why I didn't even like snap. Like, it's a pool. You don't know how to swim. So what the hell are you doing in a pool when you don't know how to swim? You don't even have like the floaties or whatever. So I was just like, you know what, whatever. I don't want to look like a freaking loser with floaties on. So I was like, you know what, I'll be fine. So I go in there with my friend and we were just together the whole time. So we're having a blast, jumping up and down. The waves kept getting higher and I'm freaking short. So I'm like, well, shit, like I need to work twice as hard to jump up, you know, past that wave. And eventually it starts getting rougher, higher and whatnot. And my legs were starting to like get tired. Like I was wearing out, like I was exhausted. So there was this specific wave, it looked higher than shit, and I was like, all right, I need to get ready for this one. So as I see it like kind of coming towards our area, I was like, all right, get ready. And so as I was about to jump, I don't know what it was, my legs did not jump. Like, they did not jump. I think that's just how exhausted my legs were. And the water came and boom, like knocked me out. And when I got knocked out, my first reaction was like, well, shit, like it just freaking slapped me harder than shit in my face. And I was like, just stand up, just look for the cement, stand up and you'll be fine. So I was like trying to stand up, and just as I thought like, all right, you know, I found the cement, like I can stand up, boom, another wave comes and knocks me off balance again. So I was like, what the hell? And keep in mind, I was in the area where it was like 4 feet, 5 feet. So I was just trying to watch out and not get dragged into the deeper area. But when that last wave came and knocked me out, I was like, well, shit, like I have no control anymore. I was just like moving around, and just when I felt like, all right, like I'm balancing, another wave came, and it just kept doing that. Eventually, like I lost complete control. I had no clue where I was at. I was looking for the cement to stand up. I couldn't find that. So I was pretty sure I was in the 7-foot area. Like the water dragged me or pulled me, or I don't know what it was, but I was in the 7-foot area and I couldn't find the cement. I kept running into people and I kept like splashing everywhere and trying to catch people's attention, like gasping for air and whatnot. And I don't think anyone noticed. I think people thought I was, you know, kind of like swimming or something and having a blast, but it's like, no, like I'm freaking dying. And the lifeguards, who knows where they were at? Like, I don't think they even noticed me either, because there was just dozens and dozens of people in that pool. So eventually, like, the water just kept doing its own thing. It was like pushing me and pulling me, and I don't know where I was at. I was starting to lose consciousness. Like, I started getting to a point where I was choking, I was swallowing water, I couldn't breathe, and I was just like slowly starting to get dizzy, just because like I kept swallowing water and I kept choking and I couldn't gasp for any more air. Like I tried getting to the surface I couldn't even find the surface anymore. So at that point, like, I remember thinking to like it's still crystal clear in my head of like what I felt in that moment. And honestly, like, I did kind of lose consciousness because like the outside noise was starting to become like quieter and quieter. And at that point, like, I was kind of just like letting myself go. As scary as it sounds, like, once you feel like you have no more control of your body or whatever, like, you just let go. You're like, why am I even like fighting it off? Like, that's it. Like, I can't get to the surface. I can't breathe anymore. So I was just kind of like in the water, drinking water, swallowing it. And I was like starting to doze off. And yeah, I was freaking scared. But then all of a sudden, like, I feel like the water kept pushing and pulling me less and less. And I was like, what's going on? Like, is it over? Like, what's going on? And before you know it, like, I felt like I hit something on my foot. And I was like, what the hell was that? Was that someone? And I started like moving my feet and I felt the cement. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God. So I finally managed to stand up and I like gasped for air, like so exaggerated. Like, it was scary. I was like breathing it in and I was like, ugh. You know that weird like noise you make when you get out of the water and you're like almost freaking choking? So that's what I did. And then I was like looking around to see if anyone like noticed or if anyone was trying to get me out. And it's like, no, like lifeguards, I don't know what the hell they were doing. They're probably on their cell phone or something. I don't know. And then the people around me, like, they're kind of just with their family. So they're not really paying attention to other people. And my friend, I don't know where she went, but I was like, well, shit, like, I didn't know anyone around me. Like, the water dragged me from one corner of the pool to a totally different corner. And there was dozens of people. So I don't know how I landed all the way over there. But next thing I knew, I was like, all right, well, I don't know where I'm at, but I'm gonna start looking for my friend. So I start walking around, and as I was kind of walking past this group of people, like the obviously, I don't know if I mentioned it, but the pool, the waves stopped. So that's when I finally started walking around. The thing was over. So I passed this lady, this bigger lady, and she was, I think, with her daughter or her son. I can't remember what it was. But she just looked at me like straight up and down and rolled her eyes and just like looked away. And I was like, what the hell? Like, is she just hating on me? Like, did she just mug me? Did I see that right? And in my head, I was like, okay, first of all, lady, like, I almost freaking died. Have some compassion, you know? And second of all, I was kind of like, are you just like hating because I'm in a bikini? Like, it's not like I'm looking like a slut or something. Like, everyone's wearing a swimsuit. And so as I said that, I looked down to see if there was anything wrong with me. And sure enough, my bikini top was on my neck and the other boob was covered. But literally this boob was just popping out. It was just that was popping out in the wild, and it was awkward. I was like, well, shit, no wonder she was staring at me. But then obviously, like, I pulled it down right away. I was like, oh, well, shit. But in my mind, I was like, okay, you see someone with her freaking nipple out, like, why don't you tell her? Like, there's a bunch of perverts out there, you know? Like, tell her your freaking boob is sticking out. But no, this lady just looked at me and, like, rolled her eyes and walked away. And it's like, okay, does she think I freaking did it on purpose? I'm just showing my nipples to the world? Like, no. And at the same time, like, after that happened, I was, like, thinking back, I was like, well, shit. So I was about to die. But I was going to die with my nipples out. Like, apparently if I was going to go out, I was going to go out with a bang. So it's kind of funny. I don't know, now that I think about it. But shortly after that, I was kind of like, well, maybe I didn't have my top on right. Like, I guess that's how rough the water was. Like, it was just tugging and pulling and whatnot. And it just slipped it up. I had no clue. I don't know how many people saw my nipples, but it's okay though, because back then, like I said, I was only like 15, 16 years old. I don't think I even hit puberty yet. So if anything, people saw probably would look like a mosquito bite. Like, I probably didn't even have nipples that big, so it's okay. Anyways, that was one of the times that I almost died. Another time, I was actually much younger. I was thrown into a river. I don't know who or what these people were thinking, but I was just like kind of walking past this river, and I was kind of seeing what these people were doing, and they're like, oh, jump in, and I was like, no thanks, like I don't know how to swim. And they're like, oh, it's fine, like you're just scared, you don't want to get your clothes wet, just jump in. And I was like, no, I don't know how to swim. And I don't know if they just didn't hear me, but one of the guys, he was like in his mid-20s, he picked me up and threw me in the water, in the river. Okay, the river was moving like hard, and I was like, I don't know how to swim. And so I was like panicking and splashing everywhere, and I was crying, and I was like, get me out, I can't get out. And they're like, just swim. And they were like confused, and I was like, I don't know how to swim. And then that's when they finally realized, like, oh shit, like she's serious. And it's like, I'm freaking telling you from the start, I don't know how to swim. Like, why would you freaking push me in there? Eventually, like, one of the guys like jumped in there and, you know, swam towards me, grabbed me and pulled me to the other side. And I was like, I don't know how to swim. Like, why would you guys do that? And I was like crying, and they got me out of the river. And then that's when my mom came, and she's like, why is she crying? Oh, it's because we threw her in the river. She said she couldn't swim, but we thought she was just kidding. My mom freaking almost lost it. She's like, if she told you she doesn't know how to swim, why would you throw her? Like, she was pissed. But that was just another situation where I almost died. And it's kind of like, I've had 2 close calls. Like, I don't know why I haven't learned how to swim, but I have no intentions of learning. And I think the few times that I have had or have tried to learn how to swim, like, it's just failed because I just can't seem to let go. Because I like being in control of my body, and when like they tell you, the first thing they tell you is like, just let your body go, just let it flow. But it's like, no, like I want to know I'm good, so I make my body hard and like difficult to work with to stay afloat, you know. So I think that's why I haven't learned how to swim, but hopefully soon I'll take classes soon. Don't know when, but soon. But anyways, if you want to hear other stories, subscribe. I kind of like the story time just because you kind of get to see a different side of me, which I don't really show on social media or whatever. But hope you guys enjoyed it, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.